Welcome back to another Dephemerember prompt. We are on December 16th. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. If you're watching this, so to say, in real time, I hope you're having fun with our prompt. So far, we are at the half point. Unbelievable. So today's prompt is tuck spot and cheese. If you have followed Luise and myself during our pre-Dephemerembering, you might have heard us mention cheese a few times. The thing is, I don't even remember what the joke was between Luise and myself, but I know that cheese has been a topic for a while. It was something about cheese making everything better or something like that. Cheese always was the answer to all of our problems. If you're new here at this point, please see the Dephemerember info page below. You can find our playlist. You can find all the information. You know all of this, but this is a collaboration with my dear friend Luise Heinzl. She's right here. Our handles are right here on the prompt list. The prompt list is also, of course, on that Dephemerember info page. Just click on the image and you can download a good quality photo if you haven't done so yet. Let's jump right in. So let's move this beauty. It is getting a bit more bulky, which is a lot of fun. So I am going to use some vegan cheese packaging for this prompt. I actually don't love this cheese at all, not in the vegan version and also not in the animal product version, but my hubby does. So I'm happy to buy this for him. And this is what I want to make my tuck spot out of. So the part that I definitely want to keep is this part right here. And since this has kind of a weird shape and we have some of the stickers here that didn't really come off well, I thought, why don't I use this opportunity to make something very untypical for me, something very irregularly shaped. So let's see what we can do here. So I'll cut along here. So I don't want this part. I would like to keep this here, which says love for climate. So let's cut this here. I could, of course, just make it a rectangle now. Then I'm back to my regular shape, but I don't want a regular shape. I want to use this opportunity for once to make something weird. But before I decide on the length of my tuck spot, I need to take something into consideration because I have some quotes here. This was really funny. You could call it a coincidence again. You know, Luise always says there are no coincidences. So when Luise and I first mentioned the cheese when we were talking about the prompt, and we were having a lot of fun with the cheese as a prompt. Later that day, I was reading on my Kindle in my fantasy series From Blood and Ash. It was so funny, and I sent these to Luise actually. We both couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, they were talking about cheese. It's such a random thing. So one quote was, "Did I hear you mention cheese?" The second one says, "Throwing a plate of cheese at you? Yes, I'm seconds away from doing just that." And the third one says, "You'll be upset when you don't have any more cheese to eat." And I remember Luise actually saying that day, "You should totally keep those for the cheese prompt." So here we are with the cheese prompt, and I just had to integrate these. So Luise, this is just for you. I think it's really fun. But the reason why I needed to have this was because I want these to go underneath the tuck spot, and I'll explain more of that later. Okay, so that works. I do need to keep this until here, so that is good to know. Okay, it's a little bit irregular at least. Since I want this to be more sturdy, I'm going to adhere this onto some cardstock. I will use my matte gel by Liquitex. You use what you have. I like how we can see the pattern underneath. So now I'll just cut out my shape. If you use plastic like I am, do not use your heat tool. It's going to melt your plastic. I also want to add some holes because cheese. But I want to make sure that the holes are in the right place because I want to, as I said, have these in the back. This will make sense, believe me. So if I add them like this, for example, then I could add some holes here, and I will use this die. I'm not sure if a punch would work well through the plastic. If you have a circle punch, you can try that. And if you have neither, you can just take a round object, trace it, and cut it with your scissors. So I have this now. I have 2 full holes and 2 partial holes. And since we have to also use one of Luise's scraps, maybe we can find something that we can put behind. Something transparent would be super cool, but I don't want to cut him apart because we won't see much of him, so that would be a waste. I don't think there's any more acetate or anything like that. But what about this one? This one is super cool. It's glossy. So these look like they're alcohol inks. This looks so interesting. I think the colors would also be very interesting together. Wow. Yeah. How do we do this? Okay. So I'll cut a strip that covers these 2. And I'll do the same thing here. Somehow this didn't quite go as planned. Okay, this one is perfect for here. And this one, yeah, we can cut it to fit there.
December begins, crafting makes nights long. We come together where we belong. With paper and glue, our hearts we render, crafting joy in Dephemerember.
So next we need somebody to actually say these quotes, right? So I found the perfect printable for this in Luise's shop. This is one of several pages. And as you can see here, it has these very cute mice. This printable is called Funny Focal Points. You can see here that there are several pages, and Luise was kind enough to give us a discount for this adorable printable. You can see it right here on the screen. Thank you so much, Luise. Again, this code will be valid until end of January 2025, and you can find this printable linked below in the description box. So I printed this twice, and again I have mirrored the pages just like I showed you in the first video of Dephemerember for December 2 with the altar playing card and the antique keys. So if you don't remember how to mirror a printable, please go back to that video. So I'm going to fussy cut these 3 mice in these 3 so that I can glue them back to back, because again, I want these peeking out from my journal page. You can also do this without that step, just cut them out once, and then you can add them on your page so that they don't peek out, so that they're just on the page. Then you don't need to worry about gluing them together. So I have all of my images cut out, and as you can see, I actually only cut out the top part because they will be peeking out from here. We don't actually need the rest of the body. And now I can just glue them onto each other. Oops. And another thing I should mention is that I didn't print them full size. Interestingly, with this printable, when you print it full size, it's going to say that it's 23%. I don't know why that happens sometimes. That happens with other printables as well, not just with Luise's. it has no significance really. So I shrank it down to 19%. So 4% less than the original because I just wanted them a little bit smaller. And I should also mention that I printed these on 140 GSM matte photo paper because I do want them to be a little bit more sturdy, and of course I want the print quality to be good. Okay, these don't all match up exactly. It's really hard when you fussy cut images like this. I find it quite difficult to get them to match up 100%, so you'll have to play around with it and maybe adjust some of the edges. So these cuties are ready to go. They are good from both sides. So we'll put these aside for a moment. We first need to attach these. And these are too flimsy because I just printed these on regular copy paper. So first I need to adhere these onto some cardstock to make them more sturdy.
Dephemerember, where hearts unite. With every piece we shine so bright. Across the world our spirits soar, creating together.
Okay, so these are sturdier now. And we can use these parts here that we cut off from our packaging. Use like these half circles. Glue that on like this. And originally I had envisioned having this like this and then having the mouse behind them, but actually it makes a lot more sense to put the mouse on top of that and to have the mouse pull the sentiment up. I'm kind of sad I cut off the rest of the body, but it's still okay. I think that's fine. So that means we add glue on the top here. Glue that here. No, actually that wouldn't even have worked because the body would have covered the quote. So it's all good. And then we glue the body on top of this. This is much better. And we still have the face on the back here to peek out from the page. Yep, that's perfect. So let's do that with the others as well.
Simple scraps, two colors bold. We wrap our stories into gold. Each prompt a spark.
Let's make this a bit shorter so we don't go into his face. Okay, so now if we turn this around, we need to attach these somehow so that we can pull them out. I think the easiest thing is to cut little strips of cardstock as guides where they can just slide in and out of. Let's try it with one and then we'll see if that's the right way to do it. Because we don't want it to wobble back and forth when we pull it out. So let's put one here.
A joyful ember, bringing warmth and Dephemerember.
And another one here. Make sure we can still pull it in and out. Yep. The only thing is, do we want them to go out all the way? Because I don't think there's a way to stop it. There's no way I can think of that I could stop it here. So I guess they would pull out all the way. But the problem is, then how do we get it back in? Because the tuck spot will be glued down. So if we are able to pull it all the way out, how are we going to put it back in? Oh no, so we can't aim it that well. Okay, this is a problem I did not foresee. Oh no. Honestly, I really don't have a solution for this, so it is what it is. If any of you can think of anything, please let me know in the comments below.
Dephemerember, where hearts unite. every piece we shine so bright. Across the world our spirits soar.
Okay, I have one idea that would make it easier to stick it back in. Rather than having these strips, I hope I can still take these out. I can add one piece of cardstock in the back with glue down the middle, so that I just need to make it fit into the top here, and then it will go all the way down. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to go through this one and then go through this one, which is like impossible once it's turned around. Let's try that.
Creating together forevermore. We share our dreams, our smiles and tears, building bonds that last for years.
So I cut these 3 pieces of cardstock, and each one of them is approximately as long as the paper strip, or a little bit longer, it doesn't matter. And now I'll take my glue.
Through every craft, yours and mine, we find love in this special time.
So then we glue it here, line it up with the top here. And hopefully now we just need to put it in here and just push it down. Yeah, that is better. That's going to be easier to get it in all the way. Good job, Barbara. Saved the day.
Scissors cut and colors flow. Our community continues to grow. With each creation, love we render, binding us close in Dephemerember.
Yes. All right. Then I want some more of these here, somewhere here. And I have this left, so I'll just take this to my die cut machine and cut out 2 more circles here. This is photo paper, but let's see if we can ink it up anyway. Yeah, I guess you can see it a tiny bit. So obviously you're not going to have the same quotes that I do. So let me give you some more quotes that you could maybe use if you want to use a similar pull mechanism. So there's even some fun ones related with crafting. For example, you could say cheese and tuck it in. You could use this cheese tuck spot is brie-lliant. You get it? Brie as in the cheese brie, brie-lliant. Then there's crafting is like cheese. It gets better as you age. I love that one. Then there's no such thing as too much cheese or ephemera. And finally, cheese and tuck spots, 2 things I can't live without. So feel free to use any of those. So I want to place these somewhere. I would love to use some smaller ones as well. I do have this left over, but I don't have anything that small. Even this is too big. If I just cut it by hand, it's going to look horrible. Let's see if I can find something. So I found this here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So I will trace that on the back here. I could have done that without that. Freehand. What are these? Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. I really think I could have done a better job freehand. What on earth is this? Okay, let's see how round we can make these. Oh my goodness. Not so bad.
Remember where hearts unite. With every piece we shine so bright.
Somehow I'm just not happy with this tuck spot. It looks boring. So I'm thinking, why don't we add another one of these fun focal points here? How about this guy? I just love his hair. So I'll cut him out as well. So here he is. He's so funny. So if we add him here, yeah, that makes it so much more interesting. And we could even have him say one of the quotes. So either crafting is like cheese, it gets better as you age, or this cheese tuck spot is brilliant. I'll use the one with the brie because it's shorter. So I will handwrite this one. Look at me using my handwriting that I don't like.
Across the world, our spirits soar, creating together.
No, that's horrible. Let me do this again.
So here's to us, both near and far, crafting joy no matter where we are.
That's exactly what we'll do. I think I'll just cut out the white here as well.
In every fold and cut, remember, we're bound by love in Dephemerember.
Time to find a page in this beautiful journal. Let's look for something in the middle. This wouldn't be the worst option. Let's keep that one in mind. Let's pet the bumblebee while we're at it, because these have such an amazing texture. If you have not seen what Luise has done with these bees, you really should go back to watch how she made this journal, because this is so amazing. I want this tuck spot to go on a right page because we have this angle here, which I want to be on the inside. Ooh, how about right here? Yes, that is perfect, because this has a little bit of green here. So now when we adhere this, see, we have these mice peeking out. But as I said, if you don't want to fuss around with the double images here, you just move it further down. Maybe you don't make your tuck spot as tall as mine is, and that way they won't be peeking out and you won't need them double-sided. Finally, I need to add splatters, and this is unheard of. I'm using green. This is called Wicked Elixir. It's a distressed mica stain, and rather than spraying it, I'll just use the nozzle to add some splatters. Let's add some here as well while we're at it. So we have a super interactive tuck spot now. And we can pull all of these quotes out and put them back in. Look at that. The stiffer this cardstock is, the easier it will be to take them out and put them back in. This was fun. So, December 16th. Done. We are halfway there. Have fun with this. Check out Luise's printable, and let's check out Luise's video together. See what she did with the cheese. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!